Greetings. This is your host, Michaela Rena of Wednesday Moon. Join me each week as we learn the energy of the daily tarot reading coupled with the elements of food to help assist in our evolution, happiness, and personal well-being. Well, this week or today I am making a green bean casserole. So I've taken the liberty to already prepare fresh green beans. So I've already done that. And my cream of mushroom. And you can make that from scratch instead of buying it from the store, which I think is better. You can do a white gravy or a light gravy if you want. And then chop your mushrooms. And voila, you have your cream of mushroom. So this dish calls for cream of mushroom, regular mushrooms, chopped mushrooms, fried onion rings, and green beans. And then you bake that at, let me see what I'm going to do. I'm going to bake it at 350 for about 20 to 30 minutes. So why would mushrooms come into my energy right now? Why is that important? Well, if you are craving mushrooms, a lot of that has to do with one, being grounded. However, they are closely linked to the fairy world, and of course psychedelic trips or hallucinations, those that use mushrooms for that. However, we have cooking mushrooms, regular mushrooms that you eat, that you purchase at your grocery store. So I wanted to make sure I said that. And mushrooms are associated with strength and courage. It's something, it's an organic matter that springs up overnight. So something that is instantaneous and is very resilient and multiplies. And so this is something that we would want to take advantage of. So if you are craving mushrooms, you like mushrooms, or you're finding yourself with people who are preparing a lot of food with mushrooms, then this is what is really going on in your aura energy, what you're calling in. Either it's a message for you to fully engage in something courageously and with strength and power, or that it's telling you this is what you need to do in regards to a certain circumstance or situation. Also, with this dish is onions, and onion is a protective measure, so this is strength, courage, and protection. Green beans, the bean itself is growth and inspiration and magical. So think of Jack and the Magic Beanstalk. It's very magical. And then again, we're in the world of the fairies. So this is something very light. So what I would tell you is pay attention to your plant life this week. Why I got that message that just came through to me. However, fairies, whether they're sylphs or fairies, whether of the Celtic or African culture, they are always having to do with nature. So pay attention to your plants, water your plants, make sure that they're not overwatered. Let me say it that way, because sometimes we can drown our plants. And that also has to do with your own self. Nurture yourself and let that fairy energy speak to you. Now, so I'm going to be preparing that today. Now, the cards that I pulled, I'm going to prepare and cook while we're talking. The cards that I pulled, 3 cards, very, very interesting. Oh, goodness gracious. Cards never cease to amaze me as I pull them and discover the message that it has. So the first card is the 3 of Pentacles. So I'm going to hold that up for you. There you go, 3 of Pentacles. Hopefully you can see that very well. These are such beautiful cards. This set of cards is by Cyril Marchetti. And, you know, he's an interesting author of the cards. He wasn't a tarot reader. Let me just say it that way. He designed these cards because he was fascinated with the aspects of tarot, but that wasn't his first love. But however, he's produced some amazing, beautiful cards. Okay, and then here is the second card, the Chariot. That is a present card, so that's something to give some thought to. And the last card, which is interesting because it was our first card yesterday, is the Knight of Swords. However, that came in reversed. Yesterday it came in forward, And today it's coming in reverse. So let's talk about this. This is really interesting. This Three of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, Three of Pentacles. So what I'm going to say is that in the last week, there's something that you've been building, something that you've been working on, and you need to make application. So if you notice, he's a blacksmith, and this could be connected to a task that he needs to achieve, something that he's working on. I would say metal work. Now, when I think of metal work, I think of appliances. However, as I was thinking appliances, I was thinking, well, in my last week, my appliances have been fine. Now, some people may have had issues with their appliances in the last week, and that could have been literally the appliance of our vehicle, cars, because it is a metal. However, when I look at him, he's really working on something. He's really sharpening his skill. And now it's producing. So whatever he's been working on, it is becoming productive. So the thought here is, are you sharpening your skills so you can make application where necessary? This is something you need to reflect on. That is a past tense. And I'm just going to say in the last week, and for some, if this is a long-term review for you, this might be something that could be over the last year, because our life takes turns in threes, and so we're talking in 12, one of those numbers. 12 months, it could be within the year that you need to make serious application of the things that you are learning. However, I am dealing in the last in the last week that we're talking about. What are you working on that you need to really make application? Okay, so whatever you've been working on, you're starting to apply it very well. Okay, and if it is your appliances, then it appears that whatever you've been endeavoring to get done as far as your physical appliances, that now your time and your energy is paying off. Now, the next card is the Chariot. Okay, pull that card up. That card is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Okay, now if you notice, there is a gold and an onyx lion at the bottom. She's draped in purple and gold over her head. She's got the sun over her head, which, oh my gosh, that's a whole nother issue. So now remember, this is a general reading, so I'm just going to go over some things. However, that card is really powerful. So there's something, and this is current, there's something that has just come into your life. Now, it could have been something that you had in the past, or something that was of a recent past. Let me just say it that way best, okay? That has come back into your life. That thing is really just to get you to the next level. And so you need to really take some time to review what it is that appears to be something that can take you to the next level. However, with the Chariot, it is just transportation. It is just getting you there. It's not something long-term. Whatever this is, it is not a long-term connection. So that could be a relationship, a new relationship, somebody that you're interested in, somebody that you were interested in. It's momentary. It's to get you to the next place. So that person could be someone that will help you, assist you spiritually. So that person's to get you to the next level. It could be a new job, and you think that the job that you're in is going to be a great job, something that's good and resourceful for you. It definitely short term. When I see that card, it definitely has something to do with travel, somewhere you could be moving, or a new job, again, a new relationship. I have an experience with this card. Oh, I mean, we all do, but some that we can definitely pin down. I was in Sacramento, California, and I was working for the school district, but I was serving as an executive secretary for a lead principal. However, every year, because of the budget, you weren't sure if you were coming on to stay for the following year. You had to wait for them to send you a letter. Just the way California, in that particular region, Northern California school system employment is. So anyway, I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to continue, even if I've done a great job, and I had an amazing lead principal. And so I started putting in for different employment, but this time I didn't limit myself. I didn't limit myself to just Sacramento, California. I just put out my application. And this application that I put out turned up in Denver, Colorado. And I ended up getting work in Denver, Colorado. Now, why is that so amazing? As far as it being pertinent to my story. Well, just about that time, I had really begun to focus my work at supporting and learning about who I am, about my skill, about my gifts, about my strengths. And I had to have courage in that. Okay, so where is this going? Well, it was also during this time that I began to really study the tarot and study how the mind works. And I had a great teacher, my Jedna, and she is the one that gifted me my first set of cards. And she taught me how to see beyond what I am seeing in the physical. That there was more to what the story showed me, and I needed to ask questions all the time. Always ask questions. Everything is a question. And so it was during this time that she had a friend that came on the line, because we were all talking on the phone and they were doing readings. And she says, "Oh my goodness, you have a chariot." And I said, "Oh, okay, what does that mean?" You know, I'm still learning my craft. And she says, "Well, it looks like you just got a job transfer and you are going." She says, "But that job isn't really what you're there for." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, I couldn't see anything else. Well, it was. She was correct. That job was so short term. That job lasted me all of 60 days. In that 60 days, because I had to really figure out, what am I about to do? What am I going to do? What do I love doing? Well, I used to teach dance, as I'm a former NBA dancer for the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers. And I founded a dance company, and I was an assistant director for, over a decade, well over a decade, and then founded my own dance company. All of these things I needed to put together, and then I was intuitive. I was an ordained minister. I mean, like, all of that needed to be honed in and put into my pot and then make use. It was when I was in Denver, Colorado, that I recognized that I had the time by myself to do what I needed to do, to have courage, strength, and then gird myself with my own protection, which was my resources, so that I could be preserved, self-preservation. Wow, that was my chariot. Can you believe that? Whew, it's so amazing. So this, that's how the chariot shows up for us. What we think we're there for, or what we're supposed to be doing, is really not what we're there for. Hold on, just one moment. So I have my bowl for my onions. And they smell delicious. I love onions. I don't care what kind of onions they are. Onions could be red, they could be yellow or white. And if there's any other kind of onion, I need to find it, because I love onions. And onions are so healing. They smell so good. And they taste amazing. Okay, so that was my discovery. So in that time frame, I actually developed a program called Inner Goddess Awareness. And then I did it there in Denver, and I helped teach women about their spirit, help them to go back in through the aspects of dance. I had a beautiful mentor, Queen Mayasht of the Al Set Society, who had produced a program, a healing program for women called the Yoni Healing Dance, and in the African term is Uki, the Uki healing, and at that time it was the Yoni, and so she actually developed a dance routine that actually would assist the woman's reproductive organs and help the natural blood flow and then eating right and all of this. And so I began to take my skills, learn and create a routine that was inspired by Queen Masht, and then develop this dance routine. I then had women coming to my home, and they would take a dance class. This is how I began. That was that was my chariot got me there, which now had me in a whole nother aspect of my life. Now applying my ministry to not just women, but to people that I love, and helping them to literally evolve, to go back in and evolve from a dark place, so that they could take their building blocks and now grow with what they have as their gift, as their tool. So that is how the chariot works. So if you wonder, how does that look? What does that look like in somebody's life? Go back and look in your life, and you'll be able to discern how you had certain chariots, and they got you to places. And even though that thing was done, it opened up a whole nother world for you that actually was really where you're supposed to be. So that's your chariot. Now, the last card is the Knight of Swords. Okay? That's the Knight of Swords. Now, it's reversed. So what I'm going to say is we just rolled on, hold on, we just got into a chariot, and we're rolling to a certain place. However, what I will say to you is this card might be about you holding on. Like, hold your horses. Don't go so fast. Slow down. Review. The person that you think that you might want to be involved in, you might not want to be involved in. Now, they might be a great person or a business that you are getting in, that you have the opportunity, let me say it that way, to be involved in. You might not want to. It may not be something that is of a benefit for you. Now, remember, we are in a retrograde. So this is definitely time for review. Use the energy to your advantage. It's very, very well. Now, we are also, this is interesting, that Knight of Swords, we're at the full moon tonight. The new moon tonight. And we are at the Knight of Swords, where it's like, hold on. So usually this is an evening or a day that you would use to write down your thoughts. You want to create something new. Take time to review what you want to really create, okay? Because that right there, this card right here, says that you might be going too fast in your thoughts. You need to really think out what you truly desire and how you want it to come into your life, and what aspect you want it to affect your life, and how quickly you want it to come into your life, because it it could be coming in at full speed, and you need it to just slow down just a little bit. Yeah. So now, this piece always, the sword always sticks out to me. I'm going to tell you, the sword, even though we know it's the mind, it is definitely the mouth. So what I will say today and in the next 3 days, be careful with your tongue. Be careful how you speak to people. Because our tongue can heal, and our tongue can kill, right? Okay, so be careful how you're speaking. Matter of fact, you might want to hold your tongue, hold your thought, and allow yourself to fully observe and receive how information is coming towards you. And it's okay. Because you'll be able to make better application, as we see earlier from the Three of Pentacles, better application, so that you're able to benefit yourself and the resources that are coming to you. And this card right here, as I said, it might be, I'm going to tell you, it's probably an old relationship, an old business idea that might be creeping back up again. And I don't want to say old as in years ago. I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe in the last 6 months. This might be creeping up again, and a business partnership, an idea, a relationship. That also might be something you need to be concerned with, and just give some time to review it. It doesn't mean you shouldn't, but just don't speak on it real quick. Just review. Just allow the memory of how the partnership or the relationship acted prior, so that you can make a better assessment, especially that we're in the retrograde. And I will tell you, we know that the knight and the horse has to do with your car. And so you might need to, I'm just going to give this because I'm getting that hit. that you might need to just probably change your oil. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm thinking metals, and when I'm thinking metal, I always think fossils. So this is just kind of what's coming in my head. Change your oil, get an oil change or something like that, so that you don't so you don't have any issues with your car. This is going forward. So that was just a hit. I needed to say that. And when those happen, I've got to give credit and give it its due time. So I am going to finish up with this beautiful casserole. I'm going to show you. I made these green beans the other day and seasoned them, and they are just beautiful. So these are my seasoned green beans, and I'm actually going to lay them here. And I'm not using the actual juice that has been left over from when I cooked them. I'm not using that, but I will save a little bit of it for something else, because you can make a nice gravy with your vegetables. So save that stock, put it in the freezer, so that you can have stock for your for another dish at a later date. So I'm going to put that in there. And I'm layering with chopped onions, because like I said, I really loved onions. And I will take the time. This is going to set and marinate for a little bit. I'm going to use just a pinch of pepper, which is really good. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to give you your affirmation, because affirmations are so powerful. So let me use some pepper here. There. So the affirmation that I would give you for this week is really about allowing yourself to be open for new opportunities, but yet not being stuck in a particular set way. So let me get that for you. Okay, so this affirmation should be said 3 times a day for the next 3 days. That's 3 times 3 times 3. It reads, you are accepting and open to amazing productive experiences that provide resourceful personal benefit for you now. Yes, this is true. I am accepting, open to amazing productive experiences that provide resourceful personal benefit for me now. Ashe, Oshe, Ashe. Now, I am so glad you have joined me in my kitchen tarot, and I look forward to sharing more wonderful thoughts from the tarot reading tomorrow. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk with you soon. Ashe.